And good evening, kids. How is everybody doing today? I am now live here on bitwave.tv, dlive.tv, YouTube, Periscope, and we are here for another episode of The Abyss. I'm your host, of course, The Eternal Abyss. I hope everybody can hear me okay. There have been, there are been, there have, has, there's been a lot of changes in my life. I'm not going to go into the sordid details of everything, but suffice to say, my entire rig and setup here for streaming has kind of been turned upside down, and I had to reset up everything in kind of a different fashion. So, um, hopefully, on the technology side of things, everything will work out just fine. We won't have any issues in terms of streaming. We won't have any issues in terms of audio. I won't get ban hammered by any of the platforms. Things like that. But I have been absent for 2 weeks, as I mentioned, because there's been a lot of topsy-turvy, upside-down stuff happening in my life. But I am committed to do a weekly stream. So I plan on continuing this, and here I am with episode 37. There's been a lot going on in the news, and it's going to be nearly impossible to cover everything that I missed in the last two episodes now in one episode. So I'm just going to cover the kind of more up-to-date stuff that's been happening, because things happen so fast, it's kind of pointless to go over such older news items. But before I do, I want to say hello, first of all, to everybody on all the platforms that I'm streaming on. As I mentioned at the very, very beginning, for those that are just coming in, welcome to another episode of The Abyss. I'm your host, of course, The Eternal Abyss. I want to welcome everyone and say hello to everyone at bitwave.tv. I want to welcome and say hello to everybody on dlive.tv, YouTube, and Periscope. So, as you can see from the title, I wanted to talk a little bit about the left's hypocrisy. And that's not to say that hypocrisy doesn't exist on the right, but it exists a lot on the left, and it seems like it's something that they just wear as a badge of honor almost, unfortunately. And it's kind of sad to me, because there's so much potential that could be done for our country, and I feel that this kind of political partisanship that's happening. Hi, Jocko Willink. You heard the stream would have hot takes. I don't know about that. It has takes. They are of varying temperature. So some are hot, some are cold, some are milk toast. Some don't even get on any scale, because they're just my own weird takes on stuff. So some people don't know what to make of it. But before I go into the topics of the day, one thing I do have to do is, of course, actually, let me check one thing real quick, because I don't remember if I have that up. I do. Good. As you can see under the little avatar there, I have a link called streamlabs.com/theeternalabyss. Especially now more than ever, with this whole COVID thing and all these businesses shutting down and everybody scrounging for work, survival, and financial support, I have to chime in with the e-begging almost, let's call it. If you like to support conservatives like myself that are being shut down, and there's calls for censorship left and right, and especially the major platforms like Twitter, YouTube, Facebook especially, there's a big call for censorship and shutting down of conservative voices, and it's a shame. It's very much a shame. And if you want to support folks like me, please go to streamlabs.com/theeternalabyss. any level of generosity is appreciated. But enough of the marketing of myself. Let's go and I think my mic level is a little hot. Let me just lower it a tad here. There we go. That should be better, I think. It was peaking a lot. The Eternal Abyss. Hey, Dora the Stormer. The Eternal Abyss, are you going to commit the first Bitwave shooting? No. No, I don't believe in taking life. I am pro-life, very much so. So I don't think those sort of acts really accomplish much. Hi Troll 2W5U. Will you get drunk if you get paid? On stream, of course. I don't drink, so that would be difficult to do. I can drink Coke and Pepsi and other sodas, maybe. Maybe I can drink so much soda to make myself sick, if that's a good compromise. Which happened once, actually. This was a long time ago. I had a giant root beer float, and it was so good. I did not consume it in a proper time frame. I just kind of gulped it down. $10 for 5 shots of vodka. I would have to buy vodka. I don't have vodka around. That's the problem. But I was saying I drank this root beer float way too fast for the quantity that it was, and it did not stay inside me. Let's just put it that way. I had it blah, you know. And I don't want to gross anybody out, but I have to say it was just as good going down as it was coming back up. But anyways, I forgot about that, actually. Thank you for bringing that up. Interesting memory. It was just buried somewhere in my brain, and that brought it back up. But anyways, I don't know why I shared that with you guys. I shouldn't be sharing that stuff anyways. You should try more clear alcohol. Maybe. I don't know. But onto the news topics, which is what we're here for, is to discuss the lovely news items of the day, of the week, or anything that's interesting that's coming around. One of the big things that, and I'll talk about this left's hypocrisy part. I think I'll talk about that towards the end of the stream, because that's more of a philosophical discussion that I wanted to talk about, more so than specific. Well, I mean, it involves certain specific news items, but it's more of a broader discussion than just kind of a reactionary take on things. So, one of the big things that have been happening right now is this whole thing with General Flynn. Now, I'm going to be the first to admit that I hadn't followed this so incredibly closely when this whole thing started years ago. I mean, this whole thing with General Flynn started even before Trump took office. When he was elected, and he was in the transition phase, like towards the end of 2016, there were calls made and things, and the Obama administration was still in control in that sense, and they were on their way out. And apparently there's a whole mess of things that are coming up now, which is, aptly called Obamagate, because the more you hear about what went down, the more you start scratching your head and you start rubbing your chin and you start going, well, what the heck are we as a country now? Are we a banana republic now, where people that are in power are weaponizing our institutions, are bypassing citizens' rights, and are destroying people's lives purely for political persecution? And the more you hear about this Flynn case, sadly, the closer you get to the conclusion of, yes, that this is what's happening in our country, at least under the last administration. This administration, as of yet, has not gone after people using the IRS, has not gone after people using the FBI, have not gone after people using the CIA. So it makes you wonder, and it gives you a little hope that maybe things can improve. But I don't know. I really don't know. So again, like I said, I'm not going to give a whole comprehensive backstory of the Flynn case. What's come up recently, though, in the news is that the whole unmasking and leaking thing is the big crux, at least from what I've been gathering. And correct me if I'm wrong, of course. But that seems to be the big crux of what has been going on with General Flynn's case. Because he was unmasked, like, there were unmasking requests. There were like 47 of them, something like that. There was an inordinate amount of requests made. And how these masking and unmasking works generally is that, departments that have a need to know basis can make a request if there's a legitimate reason to do so. If there is reason to believe that there are improper things happening between a representative of the United States government and someone in, say, Russia or some other country, then certain departments can have citizens that are on these communications unmasked. That's nothing new. The problem here, though, is that there was no proper procedure followed, and there was FISA court abuses. There were all sorts of abuses done, and then on top of that, you had departments like Samantha Powers. She's an ambassador. She had nothing to do with like any communications or anything that the administration was dealing with when it came to Russia. To my knowledge, at least, she had nothing to do with that. Why in the world would she need to unmask General Flynn 7 times, put a request in 7 times to unmask who was on the call? So what it comes down to is that you had Clapper, you had Brennan, you had Comey, you had Yates, you had Powers, you had Obama himself informing Yates, for example, and other people before they even knew what was going on with this whole unmasking business. And you had then people leaking, which is a felony, leaking this sort of stuff to the news. You had spying that the Obama administration was doing on the Trump campaign. They were spying on them. That's proven. So you have a big problem here when all these bits and pieces are put together, where you have people in high political positions and high positions in allegedly non-partisan institutions coming together and coordinating all these activities because they were all together in on this. They met. You had Susan Rice writing emails trying to cover her tracks. You had Obama, who now released a transcript or a recording or something of a call of him being on the phone, or I can't remember what it was. I don't remember the exact details of the media that he released, but it's him saying everything should be done by the book. I want everything done by the book. That's a terrible Obama impression, I know. But bear with me. It could be, yeah, I guess it's a conspiracy. I don't know what it is. That's what it boils down to. At this point, there's still so much coming out. And what's frustrating to someone like myself is this. It's not so much that the Obama administration did something towards Republicans. And it's not so much that the Republicans may have done something similar to the Democrats. The problem is that you have actual acts that have been committed here. You have a felony that has been committed here. You have a leak. You have the inordinate amount of unmasking requests that has been done. And that is a fact. You have a fact that Obama knew, and he was informing his people like Yates. And Jocko, you pretty much nailed it on the head. It comes down to abuse of power and using the quasi-secret police to punish political rivals. That's really the problem here. And the biggest thing that frustrates me isn't that there's a D or an R behind who's responsible. What frustrates me is that I'm seeing nothing happen in terms of consequences of these actions where actual illegal acts were committed by people in high power. That is really what frustrates me. Then you have A.G. Barr, Honey Badger, as they call him. He comes out. Oh, we're not going to do any serious looking into this. The hell you say? Excuse me, why the hell not? Would be my question. Isn't there enough cause here to look into this? I'm no legal expert. I am no policeman. I don't have training in investigative journalism or anything like that. But wouldn't it behoove someone to look into this a little bit? It would seem like, to me, that it would make sense to do so. But oh well, here we are. We're in this situation here where you have obvious illegalities happening. You have obvious problems in the highest levels of government. You have obvious banana republic tactics that one political party is using to attack another political party, a rival political party. And then you have our current administration that ran on draining the swamp, and there's hardly been any draining. Yeah, okay, there's been a couple firings. Yeah, Comey is out. Okay, yay. Cool. Alright. So, it's just frustrating to me. So let's see, Jocko Willink is saying, to be clear, Barr said he wouldn't look at prosecuting Obama and Biden. A case would be hard to muster against them. McCabe is totally vulnerable here, along with maybe Comey and Brennan, but it wouldn't go past them because you wouldn't need one to flip. Well, I'm not saying you have to persecute people that aren't. I mean, my question is this. Why can't we just investigate everything that was involved in this thing? Why do you have to make a declaration that precludes people from the very beginning when you don't even know the level of involvement of these people? Like, I am willing to be fair and say, you know what? Maybe Obama is innocent in all this. Maybe he truly wanted people to do things by the book. I'm willing to look at this with an open mind and say, okay, let's just look at it. Let's just look for the truth. That is what I want to know. I want to know the truth. I want to know the facts. I want to know who knew what and when and how. And if these people committed illegal acts, abuses of powers, they use their position for illegal and bad acts, they should be investigated. Why would they want everything investigated? Well, I mean, nobody wants to be investigated. Nobody wants to be investigated. I can promise you, nobody wants to see an investigation because everybody that's in power is happy to be in power. They don't want their little cabal to be interrupted. That's what it is. It's what it is. So I just hope that maybe Barr was saying this as a cautionary thing because since he didn't have enough evidence to say that Biden and Obama are included in this investigation, he didn't want to overstep. Maybe that was his tactic. I'm not in the guy's mind. I can't say what exactly he's thinking. So it is what it is when it comes to that. But the thing is, to preclude Biden, when Biden himself made an unmasking request. Biden, the vice president of the United States at that time made an unmasking request, he should be at minimum questioned on it. Why did you make that unmasking request? What were the reasonings behind it? Did you go through proper channels when you did so? There are plenty of questions to ask him about his motivation behind his actions. Even though at this point Biden probably wouldn't even know where he's sitting if they're interviewing him for that. But at least you try. Okay, Jocko, you're saying you have to consider the optics of opening an investigation on a former president. It would be a horrible precedent. Barr is trying to protect the institution of the DOJ and the executive branch as a whole. Okay. Maybe so, but my thought process is, I don't care. I really don't care. I don't want the DOJ is already in horrible optics. Everything that the previous administration and even George W. Bush did with the Department of Justice. A lot of these problems started also with George W. Bush, actually, because there are certain people that he appointed, like Comey, I think, was appointed by George W. Bush. That's the problem here. The DOJ has had horrible optics for a very long time here. Very long time. You had Eric Holder, who was the first attorney general to be held in contempt of Congress. You had him running arms to Mexico with the Fast and the Furious, and the government of Mexico recently demanded an apology. Demanded an apology from the previous administration about this. So, I mean, Barr could be trying to save face for the executive branch. I don't, and the DOJ. I honestly couldn't care less. I couldn't care less about that motivation. If that's the motivation that Barr has, his optics are so important to him, he should not be in that position. You know, I can see your point saying, imagine a deeply divided U.S. where you go after former presidents. It would be anarchy. But what if these former presidents actually did illegal actions? What if these former presidents actually abused their power? I mean, you have people in the Democrats are already saying they want to do that with Trump anyways. So I don't. To me, again, I'm a pragmatic guy. Okay, I look at the black and white of things a lot, and I say, to me, what matters is right and wrong, the law, the Constitution. It doesn't matter if nobody died. It doesn't matter if nobody died. It's a matter of law. Besides that, he had it coming. I guess, but isn't that a Clinton head count thing? Isn't that? Don't people say that's Clinton killed him? I don't know. I don't know anything about that guy. I have no idea. I have no intentions of harming myself. I don't know the Clintons. Clintons, leave me alone. I don't care about you people. Just leave me out of your little cabal. I don't want to. I don't want to know anything about that. No, but the point is this. See, for me, what's important is, it's a matter of law, and it's a matter of constitution, and it's a matter of right and wrong. It's a matter of, I don't give a crap about people's optics. I don't care if it looks bad if you're prosecuting and investigating a previous president or vice president. If these people committed something illegal, if there is cause, and this is the big part of it, I don't think you should just investigate someone because you disagree with them, much like the Democrats have been doing with Trump. But if you have actual reason to investigate someone, if there is probable cause, it's kind of like searching a vehicle. You don't just search a vehicle because you want to search a vehicle. You have to have probable cause. Or to search a house, you need to get a warrant. You need to go through the proper channels. If there is reason to believe that people, it doesn't matter what position in politics they are. I don't care if it's president, vice president, secretary of state, uh, speaker of the house, senator, representative, in Congress. One of the pages for a senator. I don't care what the position is. I really don't care. I think that long term, sure, there may be some short term divisions and discomfort and unhappiness and difficulties and mistrust in our government, or there may be a lot of problems, but long term, I think long term, bringing all this to the sunlight is going to be better for the United States as a whole and in its longevity as a country. A country cannot last indefinitely if all that is. Look at these countries that you see in third world countries that are banana republics, that they kill their opponents. They do all sorts of crazy stuff. Look at Russia too. Not even third world countries. Look at Russia, that they kill and poison people. And they're not doing well economically. Russia, for example, they're even before the COVID thing. Like, let's forget about this whole COVID nonsense. Before this COVID nonsense, Russia for decades, their economy has been a disaster. This isn't anything new per se. So when you have this sort of stuff, these countries will not last for hundreds and hundreds of years if that's what they're doing. Because if the government is nothing but a corrupt tit for tat disregard for all laws, that to me is more so anarchy than anything else. You're going to have people who just won't listen to the government or will defy it even more. I mean, just look at, and this kind of actually goes into the left hypocrisy discussion that I wanted to talk about. I mean, just look at the response that we've had here for this whole COVID-19 thing. Where now, for example, you have people putting bills in their senates, like at the federal and state levels. They're putting bills and they're saying, oh, you can't call the COVID flu the Wuhan flu because that's anti-Asian and anti-Jewish somehow. I don't even know how that's anti-Jewish, but they threw that in there because reasons. And they make these ridiculous claims of, oh, there's anti-Asian attacks have risen since people are calling it the Wuhan flu or the Chinese virus or things like that, which is it's bullcrap. There is no data to support any of that. I have not seen one stinking stretch of data, not even one little iota that really indicates that all of a sudden, just because someone or anybody, be it from a president to just your regular citizen, using the term Chinese virus or Wuhan flu, suddenly created a spike in hate crimes. So it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous, and this kind of goes into what I was talking about the left's hypocrisy. So let me give you a couple tidbits of news that I heard. So you have the great Führer, Herr Whitmer, the governor of Michigan, who's an absolute joke. This woman is, I can't even begin to describe what a horrible job she has been doing in the state of Michigan from all the news items that I've been seeing. Let's start with this. So she put a ban in place saying you can't travel between domiciles. You can't go and visit people. You can't go from your house to your summer home, for example, or if you have a house somewhere else, like I don't know, up in the countryside or whatever. I don't even know. But the point is, you can't go. You can't do that. Uh, just today, I saw a news item that they saw her car confirmed that she went to her summer home. So she's telling people, no, 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 no. Don't, you can't travel from your home in the city to the home in the country, or to your summer home to a second home. But I can do that because I'm the governor. Hypocrisy at its finest. Yeah, yeah. Her car was parked in front of her summer home. So that's kind of what I'm talking about. Then um you have people like De Blasio in New York saying, "Oh, you got to wear a mask when you go out. If you don't wear a mask, you're going to be in trouble." The mayor of Chicago did the same thing. Yes. Yeah. And then there's video of him walking around with his wife in Central Park, no mask, no nothing. And then when people ask him about it, they're like, "Well, wait a minute. Why are you telling us we got to wear masks and you're not wearing a mask?" Or like, "Why are you telling us we got to stay at home and you're not staying at home?" And he just runs away like a coward, doesn't even answer their questions. He just walks away. Then you have the health um the health minister of Pennsylvania, who was a man and turned into a woman. This person tells people, no, no, you can bring your seniors to senior homes. They're perfectly safe there. There's no problem. Bring them there. And then what does he or she do, depending on what you want to call this individual? He takes his mom out and puts her up in a hotel at taxpayer dime, mind you. Because even if it's paid out of their pocket, their salary is paid by the taxpayer. So it's basically on the taxpayer dime. I'm not getting a 504 error, sir. Um, so it just boggles my mind. And then you have people like Pelosi, who is showing off a $25,000 fridge while people are suffering and saying, "Oh, ice cream. Yeah, that's good. I love ice cream." Oh, you don't have money. You needed us to reconvene the house. Oh no, that can wait. I got my ice cream. I gotta eat. Essentially, it's it's maddening. It's maddening to see that hypocrisy. That's the thing that really frustrates me more than anything. Because if you're gonna be consistent in what you're saying, if you're gonna say no travel to summer homes, and then you don't do it yourself, I can respect that. I can say, okay, I may not agree with that edict. I may not agree with someone saying, uh, don't go to a summer home. But if at least you follow what you say, I can at least respect that and say, all right, I don't agree with it, but at least you're doing it too. So that's what it really boils down to me. There's been a lot of that on the left, where Joe Biden is the epitome. Like the media and the left coddling Joe Biden is the epitome of hypocrisy. When it comes to the Tara Reade story, for example, there's a lot of corroborating evidence. It's a credible story. The media crucified Kavanaugh over a story that was not believable. There was not enough evidence to even deem it as believable. They turned his hearings into a circus, and you're getting a 504 error where on my not on my stream, are you? Everything looks good on my end. Oh, Well, hey, if you're still with me, everything seems to be running on my end. So if you're still with me, stay with me here. Um, but that's fine that dispatch is working on that. But anyways, what I was saying at the end of the day is this: is like you have such a double standard, and it's frustrating. You have such a double standard, which angers me. So, and that's not to say that there isn't hypocrisy on the right. There is. I think everybody has a little bit of hypocrisy. Either intentional or not. But can people hear and see my stream still? Is everybody good? Hi, Mom Patch. How you doing? Yeah, Governor Newsom. There you go. California. The governor of California was spotted in the Bahamas and Montana spring break for his kids. Yeah. Hi, Maxine Waters. I'm no leftist. Sorry, but that's the thing that frustrates me. You're gonna find hypocrisy just about anywhere, but it's so blatant. That's the thing that just really gets to me on the side of the media and the left and governors. They're like, it's so blatant, and um they're so nonchalant about it. Like they don't give a crap at all. They will literally say, like, I've also seen this in like some discussions that I've had online with some folks on Twitter, for example. Where literally in the span of like 5 tweets, they'll say one thing and they'll contradict themselves, and they will and like they will make a certain claim and then immediately, in a hypocritical fashion, just disregard that claim, like, oh, I don't insult people, and then they insult me. And I'm like, really? It's just it's mind-boggling. It's truly mind-boggling to me how ridiculous certain people in their political power can be. And what's frustrating to me more so than the hypocrisy is the fact that many people just say, whatever. They're either not informed, in the sense that they just don't look into the news as much. Which, I mean, everybody can decide how much they want to be involved in the news cycle. I can't force people to be informed. But when you have people that, even if they are informed, these people see what people are doing. They hear what they're saying. They are witnessing the hypocrisy firsthand, and their unwavering support remains. That to me is just frankly disgusting. It really disgusts me when I see that sort of thing. It doesn't make any sense to me. And I am perfectly okay with calling out bad actions when it comes to anybody. I will criticize Trump if Trump requires critique. And actually, there is one thing that happened while I'm talking about this sort of stuff. There is one thing that happened with the CARE Act that it pissed me off. It pissed me off, and whatever I think about it, it pisses me off even more. So you have Trump has been putting out these tweets about the CARE Act and how many hundreds of millions of dollars going to the New York Transit Authority, going to the Seattle Transit Authority, going to the LA Transit Authority, going to the Portland, Oregon Transit Authority. So all these ultra lefty liberal transit authorities are getting hard-earned taxpayer money, even though they keep raising the cost of fares, they keep raising everything. Somehow they have no reserves of money. Yes, I'm done playing. I am pissed. It really pisses me off, actually. It really does. Why should taxpayers have to carry that burden? Why do I have to bail out New York's Transit Authority and Seattle's Transit Authority and Portland, Oregon's Transit Authority and Los Angeles' Transit Authority when they can't even manage their own transit authority and their finances? Same thing with states. No, I don't hate the world. No. But I don't think it's right that the taxpayers, lawful citizens, have to always bear the brunt and bail out all these people because they are not financially responsible. Oh, if I get angry enough, I'll start dropping F-bombs and S-bombs, and I'll just start cussing up a storm. I'm trying to be a good Catholic boy. Well, hey, Mom Patch, you're saying because you have to bail out the illegals over here and letting criminals out too. Yeah. No, they've done that in New York. They've done that in California. I think they've done that in Chicago too. Lawful citizens are under house arrest, but criminals are being let out because they don't want to spread the disease in prisons. Hey, Cocaine Mitch, how you doing, my friend? I try to be family friendly. Sometimes things slip out, though. Just don't drop any F slurs. I'll try not to. Oh yeah. Screw the veteran hospitals and the first responders. Yeah. Oh no, that's the thing too. Governor Newsom is threatening firing first responders and policemen and firemen because he wants the government to bail them out. Okay, Mitch. Mitch tries to be a good Catholic, but you animals are infecting him. I think I'll be okay, Cocaine. They are a bad influence though. Oh god. Yeah, it's a mad world. It's a mad world we live in. We really do. Well, that too, yeah, Mom Patch. If the criminals all wear masks, if you think it really works, then keep them locked up. Then keep them locked up. It should be fine, right? Just buy more products, Rabbi Isaac Goldstein. Just buy more products, and you'll feel better. Oh, I have to be financially frugal right now because of how everything is going down with the economy. It's a mad world. It's a mad house. I feel like I'm in Planet of the Apes, Charlton Heston. It's a madhouse. Yeah. No, it's oh, speaking of Charlton Heston, just on a side note, I'm just being a stingy boomer. Hey, being a stingy boomer has served me well. Don't knock it. Don't knock it till you try it. There's nothing wrong with being a stingy boomer. That's true, I can't take those shekels with me, but while I'm here, I'm gonna try and preserve them so I can actually have then a nice funeral. Why not? Just suck the government tit. Yeah, I suppose so, but I'm not that kind of person. I like that barber from Michigan. Maybe so, Rabbi. Maybe so. No, but I like that barber from Michigan. He made a statement because the governor of Michigan was persecuting him, basically. And he was saying, I've never asked for a handout. I don't want a handout. I just want to work. And he's like in his 70s. The guy should be retired, but it's like he just wants to work. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. So I don't know. I bet I got off into a big rant there, folks. But it just frustrates me, and a lot of people feel that frustration. It's not just me. I see it online a lot. A lot of people are just defeated and tired, just absolutely tired of this nonsense. Yeah, that too. There's the Illinois governor threatening to imprison business owners for opening. And that's the beautiful thing too. You have the state police in Illinois decided to defy him. You have the same thing happening in other states. Michigan again, because Whitmer has been bringing up so much garbage that the police are like, no, we're not going to enforce that. She opened the courts. This barber story. There's this one barber who wanted to reopen. The courts were all closed because of this COVID thing. She forced the courts to open to try and persecute this guy, and the judge said, no, we're not going to do that. So the judge told her to basically jump in the lake. She got pissed, and what did she do? She went around the courts, went to the licensing board, the licensing departments, and pulled his barber license because he defied her. Shame on you! You want to kill people with your goy virus? Actually, it's an Asian virus from all indications. So I don't know. Do they qualify as goys? I don't know. I don't know the hierarchy there. I don't. Really not sure. Um. So I don't know what to tell you when it comes to that. But here we are. We are in lockdown is essential. I don't know. I mean, yeah, there's a salon owner and the government sent child services to intimidate. Yeah, I heard that too. I heard that too. The authoritarian stuff that I've been hearing coming out of the news right now is nothing short of just dystopian and disturbing. You go to a Walmart and you have speakers blasting out there stuff like please wear masks and maintain your social distancing for your safety. It's like dystopian. She actually spent 30 days in jail? No. Really? That's the owner of the salon that they intimidated her with child protective services. They actually put her in jail for 30 days? Wow. If that's not a wrongful imprisonment case to bring to court, I don't know what is. Mag Truth? I don't know who Mag Truth is. You saw her interviewed and she held her ground as she should. As she should. I mean, this is ridiculous. It's getting to the point where you have these governors, and it's so funny that it's all the blue states, it's all the Democrat governors that are doing this, are being authoritarian and tyrannical. Oh, really, Mom Patch? I was not aware of that. There was a report recently I saw that someone at a Costco was recording themselves at the Costco, and you had some because he didn't want to wear a mask, and you had the Costco employee who basically verbally attacked him and then pulled his card away. And some people are saying that, oh, he's a hero, he should get a raise from Costco. My question is, what authority does he have to do that as an employee? That's not his place. He should get him. If there's a problem with the customer, he should get a manager. I don't think he's a manager. Yeah, there's a lot of and this is and that actually, Mom Patch, what you're talking about people in stores being aggressive. That's actually it's a consequence of this sort of divisive rhetoric that you have going on within the media. You have governors pitting citizens against each other. You have people like the mayor of LA putting together snitch lines, as well as de Blasio putting a snitch line so people could could tattle on their neighbors. And I don't know what happened with the LA mayor one. I know de Blasio had to shut it down because he just got a slew of dick pics. It's just it's creating an intolerable situation. It's creating a hostile situation. These governors don't realize that instead of being authoritarian, if you want people to social distance, if you want people to wear a mask, if you need things to be shut down, if you want people to obey your orders, the best way to do that is to actually have a discussion with them. Don't be a tyrant. Don't send the government after citizens. And all these citizens are doing are just following what their rights give them permission to follow and do. They're not doing anything illegal. Yeah, it's just it's not just the it's not just the Imperial College model that was used for the COVID projections. I mean, that is a big problem because that model is flawed. Um, yeah, I don't blame you, Mom Patch, for having Dad Patch with you. I don't blame you at all. At this point, people are insane. People are insane, and you have the media and the governors, just um putting fuel on that fire. So it's just that these people are making a bad situation worse. I can almost promise you to this. I can promise you that once things open and things return relatively to normalcy, you're going to have a retrospective look at all this. And I can promise you that this whole thing is going to be looked at, and people are going to look at this and go, well, damn, this actually wasn't that bad as people were saying. We probably didn't have to really shut down to the extent that we did. We probably didn't have to go through all the nonsense that we went through. People didn't have to lose all the jobs that they lost. Our GDP didn't have to take such a hit that it took. I'm convinced, and I could be wrong at this. There's a chance that I'll be wrong, and there's a chance that maybe things are as bad as as certain people claim. But I have my feeling is that this whole thing, in retrospect, when people look at this once it's over, they're gonna look at this and the media is gonna have a pox of shame on them because of what they did during this pandemic. Governors, primarily the Democrat ones, a couple Republican ones too, but primarily the Democrat ones, and political figures that stoked those fires, they're going to be looked upon very poorly when this whole thing is over about how they've been handling things. JP Morgan, what did JP Morgan do? Yep, there we go. Yeah, JP Morgan has devastating piece arguing that infection rates have declined, not increased in states where lockdowns have ended, even after allowing for the appropriate measurement lag. I'm gonna like and retweet this. Yeah, and that is one thing that has actually come out too. That I've seen certain reports where they're saying uh, that the places that are closed are still seeing higher infection rates, while the places that are open, the infection rates are lower. Yeah, and they looked at the different lockdowns, the effect lockdowns have had after the initial 2 weeks. They concluded they're useless. Jocko, I may have to agree with that, because if the data shows that, it makes sense to me. Yeah, there's a regular epidemic curve that isn't impacted by social control measures. Yeah. Yeah, I would have to agree. And you know what? The other thing I just saw, I just literally saw this right before I started the stream. I just was randomly had the TV running, and there was a report that ever since Trump put in place the travel ban, you had over like 3 million people coming from countries that were on the ban. Like many planes, for example, were coming through LAX airport. There was another airport and I can't remember what it was. But it's like, if you're arguing for lockdown and shutdown and everything, and Trump, before all this went down, he actually banned travel, yet the airports are ignoring those travel bans. Again, that goes back to the hypocrisy thing. Like, how can you claim you care about people? How can you claim you're trying to prevent the spread? How can you claim that it's a moral thing? You have got like the Governor Newsom saying it's a moral responsibility to keep things shut down. So let me understand this then. If this is a moral thing, if it's a moral responsibility that people need to social distance, stay indoors, put on masks, wear gloves, you know, bathe in hand sanitizer, all that kind of stuff. Why are you still letting airports come in with flights from China when there's supposed to be a travel ban? I would love to know the answer to that. It would be very interesting to me to know what sort of answer that is. Let's see. Mom Patch, a neurosurgeon announced that makes uh, the masks actually do much more harm. Trap viruses into nostrils can escape and travel to olfactory nerves up to the brain. Possibly. Yeah, I mean, I haven't read that particular thing, so I can't say yay or nay on it. But I could definitely say that if masks made so much of a difference, this is the thing about the mask. I mean, okay, it makes me feel better. Like if during the peak of all these infections that were happening, I suppose it makes me feel a little better to wear masks, and it's just a psychological thing for me. But at the end of the day, it's like, well, how if these masks were really as effective as people are saying, and as the claims are made, um, how is it that the first responders are getting sick? How is it that um, people that wear all this PPE stuff are still getting sick? You have people the transit folks, people in buses, trains, and subways and stuff. They're still getting it, and they're wearing masks, they're wearing gloves, and they're doing all sorts of stuff. So it's like I don't know if masks are necessarily the end all and be all. I think that masks play a role. I don't think masks are the end all and be all of everything. I think that there has to be other things that you do with the masks. Yeah, so yeah, I think well the problem with gloves is this is that people I saw this the other day actually. This was something that I thought was very funny. So I'm in the supermarket. I'll tell you guys this story here. I was in the supermarket and I saw a lady with a hijab and she had gloves on, like the vinyl or like latex gloves, and she had a mask, an N95 mask. And the whole time she kept adjusting the mask and moving her hijab and adjusting her hijab and touching herself with the gloves and touching the inside and outside of the mask, and she kept doing all this adjustment, all this adjustment, all this adjustment all the time. And I'm looking at this and I'm going, how is that even helping you in any way? Like how is she trying to protect herself in any shape, way, or form when anything you touch with those gloves, you just touched everything all over yourself. You touched your hijab, you touched your mask, you touched the inside, the outside, you touched everything. Exactly, mom patch. That kind of touching makes my husband exactly. It makes I'm looking at that and I'm like, what? Like I have no idea what I'm looking at here. Like, is how is she following any of the rules in that case? And then she actually took her glove off to adjust her hijab after she touched it all with the glove, and I'm like, you just contaminated yourself. So it's yeah, and that's what it's turning into, Mom Patch. You have commercials over in California that says they recommend masks to make a political statement. Yeah, that's what it's turning into now. It's not even turning into you got to wear a mask because you should need it because it's something that would help you. It's more of you got to wear a mask because the government tells you to. It's a political thing now. Yeah, yeah. I that's another thing I don't understand. People wearing all that stuff in the car. I don't understand that either. I've seen that, and it really confuses me. Well, I don't know about that, Odin. You can put hand sanitizer on your gloves, and you can wash them, if need be. So, and the problem with the gloves is this: I've seen gloves on the ground. People just discard them on the ground all over the place. So, okay, you may be protecting yourself, but then you're just dropping them in nature where anybody can come across them. Yeah, some gloves you can wash, some you can't. That is very true. Odin, you're absolutely right on that. So I don't know. I think to me, it's like I think it's okay if people want to try and protect themselves. If you want to wear the mask, fine. If you want to wear some gloves, fine. Well, anybody. I see people walking their dogs, joggers, people that are cycling still. I mean, regardless of stay at home orders in the different places that I've visited, I still see people out and about. There's so much traffic right now. Like, even driving sometimes, it amazes me. You're joking. Monpatch said my favorite all time was a bathing suit site that offers matching masks with your bikini model standing alone in the woods. They would want to give you matching masks with your bathing suit? No. My god. What is this world coming to? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That's just wow. Crazy. Oh, it wasn't even like mask fabric, it was the same fabric used to make the bikini? Oh lordy. Wedding gown masks. Wedding gown masks. They're a thing now. Made of silk. Oh, Christ almighty. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, you can't be serious. You know what this reminds me of? I wonder if I can find an image of this. Let me see if I can find an image of this. Hey, Blue Almond, to bring U.S. citizens back? Well, perhaps, but these are citizens that have been. This is from D Live. This has been ongoing travel coming in, though. It's not just to bring those citizens in. From the very beginning of the travel ban until the present day. The present day, they're still bringing people in. LAX is still bringing people in from countries that aren't supposed to be bringing people in. So I think the problem is twofold when it comes to that. It's like, A, follow the order. You can't then blame the administration and you can't blame the numbers on the administration if you're not following the order. And then secondly, okay, let's say these are all US citizens coming back in. What sort of measures are being taken to check if these people are infected or not? I've known people like Mom Patch in California. I know other people in California that have told me they've seen people come in. They don't do anything. They don't measure any temperature. They don't do jack. So it makes you wonder. Well, if you're going to blame the administration like many on the left do, saying, "Oh, we've had all these numbers of deaths and cases and all this stuff." Well, what the hell are you doing? A blue state, blue governor, blue everything in California, for example, to bring that number down. If the administration said don't do this because it's going to increase the number, and you do it, that kind of goes against the whole principle of the thing, doesn't it? At least I view that in that fashion. But what I was thinking of just now is I was going to try and find an image here. Let's see if I can find this, because it would be hilarious if I can. This is too close up. Ah, I don't think this will work. If I show this, it won't really be clear what I'm trying to show. So, I don't know if many people have watched Futurama that are listening to me. If you watched Futurama, there's a spoof on 7-Eleven called 7 to the 11th, where instead of the clerk having in front of him a wall of plexiglass, the clerk is wearing a plexiglass suit. I'm thinking that we're going to get to that point where if you have to walk around in hazmat suits or a plexiglass suit or something before people start realizing how freaking stupid this is turning into. It's just mind-boggling. It's just mind-boggling. I'm sorry. It's just you think about this and you go, you think people. I like to think people have a certain level of intelligence and a certain level of rationality. Maybe I'm fooling myself. Maybe I'm giving people more credit than they deserve. But oh god, Brianna Wu. Well, why are you sharing something of Brianna Wu? Let's see. Let's see what Brianna Wu says. You could make the stupider Tekken 7 character? Doesn't seem very interesting to me. So you could Tekken 7 actually makes you make custom characters? That's interesting. I thought I thought Soul Calibur at one point had something like that. Didn't Soul Calibur have something like that at one point? Am I wrong? I could be wrong. Yeah, but I agree with Mom Patch. I'm very much getting over all this. I'm getting tired of wearing the masks. I'm getting tired of this ridiculous social distancing that nobody is even following. That's the funny part. I keep hearing this dystopian announcement of keep 6 feet away, please, and nobody's freaking doing it because the stores that I go to for whatever I need, they're not set up that way. You can't keep 6 feet apart from people. It's like nearly impossible. Well, it wasn't just custom costumes. I remember that there was some sort of, maybe I'm wrong. I remember playing Soul Calibur a while ago, and I remember that you could kind of create a custom. You could basically create a mishmash of a character from existing character stuff, elements. Yeah. Don't pull a door, Cuckmaster, the craft of redacted. I don't follow. I don't know. Is that referring to me? I'm not sure. I'm not gonna. Oh, don't get me started on the one-way aisles for like the one-way stickers for aisles. That is the stupidest thing I have ever seen in my life. I will admit I'm the first one that I don't follow that garbage. I'm not going to prolong my shopping. I'm not going to walk around like 2 aisles just to get to where I want to go because I can't make a shorter path. Basically, well, so cause the problem. Well, listen, this is the problem here. This is the problem with those stickers. All right. So I want to get from point A to point B. I want to get from point A to point B. And these stickers make me stay longer in an enclosed area where spread chances of spreading is greater because I have to go around the long way according to their logic. Instead, if I just went from point A to point B in the path that I choose, I would get in and out quicker so I wouldn't be exposed to a higher risk of infection in an enclosed area. I'm in, I'm out, I'm outside where the infection chances are smaller, are less. Well, listen, if we want to talk data and numbers and we want to talk about, trying to keep people safe, those 20 extra feet that make those 2 extra minutes that I have to take add up after a while. If I have to take 2 extra minutes here, 2 extra minutes there, 2 extra minutes in another place, I'm eventually spending an extra 15 minutes in a store that I have no need to be in. No, sorry, those stupid stickers are useless. They're useless. Because even if, and the problem is this too. Okay, let's say I follow that. Let's say I follow those stickers. You have someone standing smack dab in the middle of an aisle that is like 5 feet wide, and I gotta wait until this schmuck moves, and they're not moving. And I have people passing behind me, and we're building up a line behind me. I'm talking about places that you go inside. I'm not talking about McDonald's. I'm talking about grocery stores or going to a Walmart or going to like wherever. So I don't know. I don't. Of course, I'm impatient. I'm a boomer. Absolutely, I'm impatient. My time on this earth is limited. I don't want to waste it waiting for people to just pick out their stupid crap. Grocery stores are human rights. Maybe not, but they have no way of enforcing that. What is a store gonna do if I go in the wrong direction? They're gonna kick me out? Please. They're not gonna kick me out. I would love to see them try. I would love to see them try. Hey, I will promise you guys this. If I go to a supermarket and they try to kick me out because I'm going in the wrong direction, I will record it and stream it live. Yeah, I might get arrested. I don't know. Excuse me. They aren't. That's the problem, Train Wave. The people that work there aren't my neighbors. Because sometimes I've asked them directions to stuff, and they're like, I don't work here. I don't live here. I just work here. It's about to get shot live. I'm gonna end up on live PD, aren't I? Oh no. That's not good. I'm just starting my streaming career. I don't want to end it that soon. Oh, Mr. Gated Community. Highfalutin man here. I don't think a 90-year-old woman would have the strength to do a curb stomp, sir. And I'm no Zionist. I don't know why you people insist on calling me one. Oh, Babylon B. Let me see that. They usually have some good stuff. Stacey Abrams says she will step down as governor and ask to run for. Nice. Nice. Very good. God, that woman is a sight. I don't know what it is about her. Like, whenever I see her, just her, I think it's just her attitude. Like, how she talks and how she acts. The way she presents herself. It's just... Oh my god. I don't know. I don't know what it is about her. Yeah, I don't know. Not really sure. Not really sure what to think about that woman. She, ugh. I don't know. Oh, yeah, that. Slobber all over. You should go inside a store and make out with someone, watch people lose their shit. That would be, that would be hilarious, frankly. That would be really hilarious. Yes, I'm the eternal milk and toast. I try to be reasonable. What can I say? I don't. I try to just stick to facts and data. Oh, I'm sure that would be fun to do, Mom Patch. It would be hilarious. If I decide to really troll people, maybe I'll see if I can find someone willing to do that and and record it. It would be pretty funny. Yeah, I think people would lose their minds. People would definitely lose their minds. I don't have anybody here to do that though, unfortunately. So I'm forever alone. Forever alone. Especially now with this COVID, how can you even date? it's just crazy right now. And I'm glad to see though. I am glad to see that states are reopening. I am glad to see that you do have good data coming out of these states that are opening. I think that's a very positive thing. That will soon force the other states that are holding on to this, stronghold of closing down. It's gonna force them eventually to pry their fingers open. Get down from the fence, homie. What fence? I don't know what you're talking about. I just try to be reasonable. I try to be fair-minded where I can be. I have my own biases, sure. I have my own leanings, sure. But at the end of the day, I want to try and stick to the facts. And the facts are that there has been an enormous amount of bad data regarding this whole pandemic. There has been an inordinate amount of media ridiculousness. You have reporters that are trying to vilify people and vilify the administration. It's ludicrous. It's absolutely ludicrous, the stuff that's been happening. And then you have now these claims of this race again. It's so predictable and ridiculous how the media keeps cycling the same garbage over and over. It's misinformation. Oh, calling people racist and Nazis. Misinformation, calling people racist and Nazis. Misinformation, calling people racist and Nazis. It's so dumb. It's so dumb and it's so dull and it's so boring. It's such a ridiculous cycle, and it's an obvious cycle of wanting to hold on to whatever little power they think they have, which they don't really have anymore. If you really think about it, they have a stronghold on some people, but the trust in the media is at an all-time low. It's at a historic low. I mean, nobody trusts the media anymore. Very few people trust the media, and for good reason. So it's a sad situation, I find, because I think that the media has so much potential to do so much good instead of what they're doing, but they squander the opportunity. You trust, well, hey, good luck with you if you trust the media. I have a hard time trusting any media. That's why for me, and this is a suggestion that I offer to anybody really, if you're going to be looking at the news, and the media and social media and all that kind of stuff, look at all the sides of it. Go to websites that kind of try and aggregate things. Like there's this website called allsides.com. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but hey, at least it kind of tries to give you different sides of a topic or article or news item, so you can see like where the truth lies somewhere in the middle. And at least that's something where you can kind of go in and get an idea of what's happening, and try and filter out the nonsense. The media does have a potential to do good, Dora. I think it does. If they stuck to just reporting the news and reporting the facts, and stop trying to ban people off of social media, for example, like um, Morning Joe's lady friend Mika. Um, she is a. This is the thing that makes me laugh about that, actually. So you have this Mika person who, she is going after Trump. She wants Trump's account banned. She's calling out Jack on Twitter saying, "Why aren't you banning his account? Why aren't you shutting it down?" And because she claims he's violating the terms of service. Every tweet that she is making, every tweet that she is making that she is making in regards to attacking Trump's account, wanting Twitter to ban it, that is targeted harassment. That is actually against the Twitter's terms of service. She's engaging in targeted harassment, and she's also attacked his supporters. So she's actually attacking also a group of people. So she's engaging in this harassment, and somehow she's asking for his account to get banned. Well, if his account needs to get banned, then she should get banned as well, shouldn't she? Because she's violating the terms of service. No, I don't really listen or watch Tim Pool. When he called out Twitter and Jack Dorsey for their hypocrisy and saying that to their faces how biased they were, I started looking at his stuff briefly shortly after that. Um, I find that I he let's put it this way. Um, Tim Pool's takes on certain things, there's certain things I kind of agree with. Certain things he's kind of way off base, or he plays it really, 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 really safe. It doesn't feel like he's really expressing an actual opinion sometimes. He's probably bald too. Yeah, I don't know. He always. I think I'm getting to the point of thinking that the hat is growing out of his head, the beanie. Um, I mean, I don't think I've ever seen the man without a beanie on. Are there any pictures or? I'm not saying anything anti-Semitic. I only huh? There is actual no. Oh, well, sure. I'm sure there's a perception gap in everything. I mean, and that's what the media preys on. That's exactly what the media preys on. Mustache Matt stole his. I have no idea. I don't really follow YouTube personalities that much. I used to follow a few, more so than I do now. Now I prefer not to follow anybody, to be honest with you. The reason why I don't want to listen to anybody's opinions anymore is because if I hear a news item, I'd rather ingest it, think about it myself, think about, what's going on, get the facts, and just express my own personal opinion about it. Because if I end up looking at all these different personalities online, if I start listening to Crowder regularly, if I start listening to uh, Tim Pool, if I start listening to Vox, if I start listening to the what's it called, the Young Turks, whatever. If I start listening to all these people and they're all expressing their opinions, not that they would necessarily influence me, because I'm not the kind of person that I'm not a parrot. I don't usually I don't express an opinion based off of someone else's opinion. My opinions are generally formed by my own beliefs, interpretations, however I'm viewing everything. That's how I generally form an opinion about something. However, if you listen to someone long enough, well, I try to be as free thinking as I can be, because I don't want to be influenced by other personalities, because then you look at how their audiences react to them, and you see how they present things. And see, this is let me tell you a funny story. I'll tell you this. Like one time, I was looking at all these different things, and I listened for a period of time. I was listening to. That's the thing too. See, they YouTubers have a way of expressing themselves in a certain way because they're trying to play nice with YouTube. I don't care about YouTube. I don't care about the platforms. If I'm gonna get banned off of a platform, so be it. So be it. I'll get banned. But I'm not gonna compromise my beliefs. I'm not gonna compromise how to express myself because a platform, someone's too sensitive and they're gonna get insulted by something that I say, even though it's factually correct. I don't agree with that. I think that's stupid. So, but I'll tell you this one story. Like one time, I was looking at a lot of different YouTubers and online personalities about all these different political. This is when I first started really paying attention to these streamers. Like beforehand, I really didn't pay attention much to them. I was mostly looking at news articles from all these different sources, and then I started seeing a lot of videos come up and a lot of stuff in social media about Ben Shapiro, about the Young Turks, about Vox, and now this, and then you have like the True Pundits, and you have the left people, the right people, all these kind of things. So I was looking at all these things. I listened to a lot of the Young Turks. I listened to a lot of Ben Shapiro. I listened to a lot of Crowder. I listened to a lot of Vox. I looked at all these different things. And I found it pretty funny that there was one particular video that they were talking about abortion. It was Ben Shapiro talking about abortion. It was one of those Ben Shapiro destroys college student videos, which on one side they're kind of amusing. On the other side, it's like, well, you're an attorney, trained attorney. You're trying to debate with college students that don't know anything about anything, and they're it's not difficult to destroy a college student when it comes to debating. I had wonderful debates with college students when I was in college, and not to brag, because I'm not saying this because I felt like I won a bunch of debates, but I just felt that many people that I debated with just did not know how to debate well. Even if they wanted to express a point, they just didn't do it in a very good way. So it wasn't difficult for me, for someone like myself, to tear down certain arguments. That's funny, Armando. But anyways, Trainwave, I don't even know if that exists on the internet. Is there a picture of his sister topless? I've never seen that. I have no idea, and I don't show that kind of stuff on my stream anyways. But if you find that, good luck to you, sir. Enjoy it. But anyways, the point I was making is this. So I listened to that one video, and I listened to all the points that he was making against this college student, arguing, because the college student was arguing for abortion, obviously, and he was arguing against it. And I found it fascinating that even if I had never heard him talk about that particular topic, I listened to him and I was like, gee, how fascinating. A lot of the stuff that he is saying in that particular video was very much in line with what I said in other debates that I had with people in the past. He just said it on a more public stage than I did. So I found that fascinating, and the reason why I'm saying that is, like, one person would think that if I express that opinion now on video, someone would say, oh, you're just copying Ben Shapiro, or you sound like Tim Pool, or you sound like the Young Turks. Which is why I make it a point now. It's like, no, if people want to think that I borrow my opinions from people, fine. You can think that. But I don't. And I would much rather form an opinion, even if it's a wrong opinion. I would much rather form an opinion on my own, based off the information that I have. And then if I happen to be wrong and I need to adjust it, then I'll adjust it. Excuse me. There's really leaked nudes of Abigail Shapiro. Sir, I don't believe it. I'm afraid I don't believe it. If you could, not that I have any interest in seeing her naked or anything like that, but I had never heard of it. I don't. How did this come to be? This is new to me. This is news. I've never heard of this. When did this come about? I don't understand how this happened. I really don't. Welcome to the alt-right, bucko. I guess. Ooh, I think I need something to drink. My throat is getting a little sore here from talking all this time. I'm not used to talking all this time, like, anymore. I was out for 2 weeks. I wasn't able to do my stream. And, things have been crazy. Get out of here. I don't know if I should click on that. I'll think about it. I don't know. No. Really? Is that really her? There's more. No way. Oh no. I'm trying to be a good Catholic boy. I shouldn't be clicking on that stuff. No, 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 no. Oh god. No, I'm not gonna show that stuff on stream. That really her? Is that really her? Oh god. That's terrible. Alright, well on that note, where are we at here? I've been streaming. It's already been almost an hour and 40 minutes, guys. So this is usually around the time where I try to wrap up the stream here. So I want to thank everybody for watching. And I want to again say thank you for everybody that's been on YouTube, on Periscope. I want to thank everybody on DLive.tv, and I want to thank everybody on Bitwave.tv. You guys are always fun and very amusing, and you always bring a little something little extra to my shows here. I appreciate that, and if anybody wants to support my show, please go to streamlabs.tv. I'm sorry, what am I saying? Streamlabs.com/The Eternal Abyss, and any level of generosity is appreciated if you want to support the show. I would appreciate that. And as always, kids, I will send off as I usually do. Don't be complacent. That is my suggestion to everyone. And I hope everyone has a wonderful night and a great weekend. And I will see you next week. I will stream next week, Thursday, around 8 p.m., 7:30 to 8 p.m. We're going to be right here for episode 38. And actually, before I conclude, I will say one more thing. My schedule has opened up a little bit now due to all these life changes that have been happening with me. I'm not going to get into the details of that. So I want to try and maybe do some other stuff. You know, in the past I wanted to do some gaming stuff, and I wanted to do maybe a daily stream or things like that. Those were ideas that I was floating in my head. I don't know if I'm going to do that, but if there is interest and that my audience is interested in different kind of things, if they want to see more gaming stuff, if they want me to do maybe twice a week instead of once a week, maybe something can now be arranged. I don't know. So I'm reconsidering all that. So I just want to let everyone know about that. Interest, yes, definitely interest. So let me know. And if I have support, and if people want to hear more of my ramblings and my soapboxing, I'm more than happy to do so. Because at the very minimum, at least I'm hopefully entertaining people. At the very least, I would hope. One would think. At least that's play Manhunter. There's a game you can be a shark in a game. I had no idea. Interesting. I'll have to look into that. So, but with that, I want to thank all of you again for watching. Have a great night, kids, and don't be complacent. Bye bye.